Page 57. Action, Robert Ringer, 2004. Nothing happens until something moves. Chapter 2. Truth-based action. 2.5. Self-delusion. Many of the falsehoods we harbor are the result of self-inflicted misinformation, that is, even though we know, or at least suspect, that the facts are contrary to our desires, we choose to ignore these facts and cling to our cherished beliefs. In psychology, the term used to describe the anxiety resulting from this self-destructive state of mind is cognitive dissonance. A person so afflicted simply blocks out information that contradicts his established belief structure. In the case of my friend Jeremy, even though he had obviously experienced years of cult brainwashing, I became convinced from our discussions that adhering to his self-destructive way of life was a direct result of vigilant self-delusion. On the one hand, he preached self-responsibility and individualism, but at the same time he paid homage and money to the leader of Money's Gate because he believed in the cult's hierarchical structure. Clearly, his mind simultaneously held two contradictory beliefs. His anxiety and stress over this conflict were outwardly obvious to those closest to him. 2.6. Loving truth. To effectively use the search for truth as a guide to your actions, you must first come to love truth. Unfortunately, most people do not love truth. Instead, they try to make true that which they love. To be committed to truth, you must be willing to subordinate your desires and wishes to your dreams, as it were to reality. That is not to say that you should not have dreams. On the contrary, dreams are important. What it does mean, however, is that you should not allow your dreams and desires to override reality. Put another way, your love of truth must be greater than your desire to make your dreams come true. Human disdain for truth has always been with us. More than 300 years ago, Balthazar Gracchi N pointed out that truth is abhorred by the masses. Why do people harbor such hatred for truth? Because truth can often be harsh, and, as human beings, we quite naturally gravitate toward less pain and more pleasure. Which is fine, so long as it pertains to long-term pleasure rather than to instant gratification. We tend not to worry about what's coming down the road, we just want to feel good today. We simply do not want our self-delusive little worlds to be upset by an insignificant irritant such as truth. But the reality is that one has to be willing to experience the discomfort often associated with truth if his objective is to take rational actions that are in harmony with his long-term objectives. The failure to love truth is why human beings have such a propensity for shooting messengers. Messengers are the bad guys who have an annoying habit of delivering truth. But no matter how many dead messengers we leave lying at our feet, and despite how vigorously we try to hide from truth, truth always finds a way to survive and deliver its consequences to us. And the consequences can be severe. The greater the repression of truth, and the longer the repression takes place, the graver the ultimate consequences. The worldwide medical establishment has long been known for its vigilance in defending the status quo against maverick truth messengers. Growing up, I can remember being encouraged from all quarters, including my parents, to eat plenty of eggs, butter, milk, cheese, white bread, and, of course, lots of beef. I even vividly recall Perry Como taking the relaxing puff on his Lucky Strike cigarette on television, exhaling the fumes, then telling millions of viewers that Luckies not only tasted good, but were good for you. Today, of course, all this sounds like insanity, because just about everyone, both in and outside of the medical community, fully understands that these are the very things that provide the shortest route to heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and a wide variety of cancers. Note: the latest medical research purportedly indicates that perhaps eggs should be taken off the axis of evil food list, Nevertheless, corporate giants in the dairy, beef, tobacco, and pharmaceutical industries, along with the American Medical Association, continue to take pot shots at medical messengers in an effort to repress the hated, profit-killing truth. Healthy diets and holistic medicine threaten not only the incomes of doctors, but those of hospitals, clinics, and those involved in the manufacture and sale of pharmaceuticals and surgical equipment as well. After all, if people ate healthy food, where would the medical community get its patients? Fortunately, today the importance of a healthy, natural diet in preventing disease is pretty well accepted, thanks to alternative medicine professionals such as Dr. Andrew Weil and Dr. Roy Wolford. In fact, today there are so many truth messengers in the medical profession that shooting them is no longer a practical solution. The rapidly increasing influence of these messengers on the general public is yet another example of history being kind to truth. Page 58.